going on, guys? So we're here. Matt Rodgers. He owns Hazelwood Brewery. Now we just got finished doing a seed swap. So tell me, what made you decide that you wanted to host a seed swap here in Lexington?
Seed swap / plant swap. We try to be a part of the farming and gardening community here in town. We love farming and gardening. It's kind of our thing. Hazelwood is a farm, that we are also a brewery. We're trying to connect the two together. So it just makes sense for us to just bring in our farming friends and community, because we're homesteaders also, and we like to be as independent and as sustainable as possible. So a big part of that is the community. You can't do it by yourself.
Sure.
So like-minded people and people that are also into the same ideas, the same things, same common values. So that's why we did this. We wanted to bring everybody together in a brewery setting so that we can all hang out and talk together and maybe swap some plants, swap some seeds, and get our gardens going.
It was a great time. I mean, so you partnered with Lexington County Library.
Yeah, the main library here in Lexington.
And now, did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them about doing it? Or?
It was fortuitous almost. We wanted to do a plant swap already. Really into the idea of doing it. We've been talking about it for a couple of years now. And they actually walked up and just presented they said, hey, we want to do a plant swap. So it was like the catalyst.
Yeah. So
it made me, it kind of kicked me in the butt and made me want to go ahead and just get it going.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat now that if you really pay attention, you see a lot more people wanting to grow their own stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, during the plant swap and the seed swap, you didn't see a lot of like crazy things. A lot of people were bringing like normal stuff to the table. I mean, you had a lot of indoor plants, which was great. I mean, I know my wife, she gathered up a good bit.
Yeah.
And then tomatoes, lettuce, all kinds of stuff that like people. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of diversity along with plants and stuff. And you had a great speaker. What was his name again?
Jason Rowland.
Jason Rowland.
Organically Rowland on Instagram.
I've been doing this professionally since I was 16, 17, growing organically.
He spoke to everybody who was here about like what he does, and he's in Lexington as well, right?
Right.
And he was a great speaker. Gave us a lot of good information. You mentioned that you had a farm, and you were a homesteader.
Right.
So give me a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so I guess I was 21, 22 years old. We had a field that was not being used, and my father was like, hey, if you want to grow something, go ahead and go for it. And I was really into the idea of living off the grid, kind of carry that idea into the idea of if there was no availability of beer, what would we do? We'd have to grow it ourselves. And I was like thinking to myself, I mean, it's got to be possible to make it all from scratch. Like, we're into making everything else from scratch, so why can't we make beer from scratch? So we started growing hops. We also started growing barley and wheat, reading a lot of books on the subject. There weren't a lot of people growing ingredients for making beer in South Carolina, so we had to do a lot of our own research, kind of apply other farming approaches to growing hops here in the South. It was a labor of love and a lot of work, but we made it happen, and we've been doing it for 17 years now. We started just brewing beer totally from scratch, and took that from the idea of doing that at the farm only to going to brewing school, taking it a little further, learning the actual science of it, learning what's going on in fermentation, and then just kept going with it. Now we're here in Hazelwood at the Siebel Institute in Chicago. It's the oldest brewing school in the country. It took three-year waiting list to get into the school, but it was worth doing, very science-minded, a lot of the brewery process. They didn't have a lot of the growing your own ingredients part of it. We had to kind of fill those gaps in ourselves,
right.
But it was a lot of learning, and we really enjoyed just trying to be the best brewery we can be. So, there's a lot of opportunities.
I think you're there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're in the Lexington area, if you come to Lexington, definitely hit up Hazelwood. If you've watched my channel before, you know Matt provides me with spent grain that I feed to my animals. He reached out to me. He knew that I was doing the homestead and stuff. And it's greatly appreciated because it's benefited us. And the beer's great here, too. I mean, we love our beer.
Well, the thing about homesteading for me is sustainability. And sustainability is meaning reducing your waste and your impact on your surroundings, your environment. If you want to last, if you want to have a place that's going to continue to thrive, you need to reduce your impact on your surroundings.
Right.
So that means for us taking all of our waste products, like recycle, reduce, reuse, we're taking our wasted spent grain that's been used for the brewing process. We've removed the part we need out of it. It would normally go to a landfill or someplace that's just going to take up a lot of space. It's a biodegradable, functional, usable material that can be very useful for a lot of purposes.
Absolutely.
Feeding livestock or making compost or tilling into fields. There's a lot of different ways to use something like that, and it's a shame to let it go to waste.
Right. And we definitely use it for 2 out of the 3 of those. I put it in my compost, feed it to my pigs, my chickens. I've got meat birds right now. Feeding them, they're growing.
Yeah, we love giving it to you and other local farmers. Right. So we make a lot. We brew a lot of beer. So we've got a lot of materials, and it would be a shame to have to take it all to the landfill.
Yeah. Was there any other reason that you decided that you wanted to brew beer? In the homesteading aspect.
Obviously, it's a fascinating subject. There's so many variables. I mean, whether it be the fermentation side of it, the sourcing of the ingredients, the final product. Obviously, we like beer.
Yeah.
The community side of it. I think breweries bring people together, especially local community-oriented tap rooms like we have. We like being a part of our town. I think it gives us an opportunity to reach out to talk to a lot of different people. So, for those reasons is why we started this brewery. But, knowing that we're able to make something that's of value as a food product, obviously the science and sanitation, the process is very important. But really, we love the ingredients. We love knowing where our ingredients and where our beer comes from.
Right. True.
It's just a connection to what we're eating and what we're living off of.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Matt, I appreciate you letting us come out.
Yeah.
I appreciate you hosting this plant swap.
Absolutely.
I look forward to us being able to do it again and stuff like that. And many other events to come.
Yes.
So appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. And like I said, if you come to Lexington, this better be one of your stops. So we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers.